today, and okay, so the first true freshman to run 900 yards in 2 games in one season in our Division One, modern Division One, actually. So I think we were 104 yards. So, Coach, if you're ready, we'll open up with a statement, and we'll take questions.
Yep. You know, I try to make sense of why we're being tested the way we are right now, and I thought our kids, competed without a doubt. They're being tested. We all are as coaches. I thought that they had a great week of preparation after a tough game against Northern, and we just, we had our opportunities, we had our chances, and we didn't capitalize, in terms of scoring. We outgained them in total yards, but, let's face it, it's about putting points on the board. And we weren't able to do that. We had our moments out there tonight, but I was proud of the way our kids competed. There's not a kid out there in that room that didn't desire to win that football game tonight. And they go about their business as young men that I'm very proud of. I'm proud to be their football coach. And we have 5 games left, and 3 of the next 5 are at home against MAC opponents. And we're going to stay together, and we're going to get it, and we're going to keep competing, keep playing until we get it right. Any questions?
Jeff, you were able to rolling out Alex. It seemed to be effective, and it opened up some short passing game that you were having trouble establishing before.
Yeah, you see a guy like Zordich who can do a lot of things with the ball in his hands, running the ball. I mean, he made some big-time plays tonight. And he took some big hits too, and he just kept playing. But we have all those things in our package to try to give him the best opportunity to keep the chains moving and giving us a chance. And then it was unfortunate at late in the game that we had guys downfield. There's 6 points we pulled off the board. We mishandled the field goal. All those little moments in the game all add up. To putting you 20-6. Football game. I give Pitt credit. They're a good football team. We knew that. So, Alex Zordich is our quarterback. He's the guy that, inspires us, gives us our best chance. But it's really very, very rewarding to see a guy like John Dunmore who stepped in. We didn't have Alex Snutz in the offense. We didn't have Bo Oliver. We had 7 starters out, and 6 of them are offensive weapons for us, and all, point producers. So, for a guy like Dunmore to step in and have 7 catches, and he had 3 career catches going into the game. In one game he did a great job, and Zordich was a big reason why he was able to do that. They connected well. And then, as John Fuller said, Devin Campbell had over 100 yards rushing, which says a lot about our offensive line and how we're trying to manage the game. And he did a great job tonight. So, we've got a lot of young men in there that have competed as hard as they can, and, we just got to get better. We've got to get better as coaches, get better as players.
How close was Alex Snutz to suiting up?
Well, he was out there. Yeah. If you remember, he took a pretty good lick last week, and, he was able to get back into the game last week, but, things kind of settled in, and he was a little sore. So we just, we knew he could have ran downfield and made some catches, but we weren't sure, if it was the best thing for him to get out there and take a shot, because we know we have 5 key and critical games coming up in the MAC.
Was he available? If that last drive was the tie, you might tribute.
Correct. Yeah, that was our thought process, and he knew that, and he was ready. From that standpoint, we never quite got that close to getting the game. It was a 2-possession game, at that point, and I felt, if we needed to, we would have had his services if that was the case tonight.
What was addressed too in the situation where just warmed up?
Yeah, these guys are trying to get back. I mean, it just says how much they care about their teammates, and it speaks volumes. So, to their commitment to our football program and what we're trying to do. They want to get out there and they want to play. I would have been, believe me, I would have put them in there had given the green light. But they just felt like we needed to wait another week, and hopefully we'll have them back for this next game against Toledo.
How difficult were the wind conditions,
Jeff, and did it affect your play calling when you were going into it, or vice versa?
Yeah, that third quarter was key. We weren't able to, that was we debated whether we were going to use the win or use it to our advantage in the third quarter or take it in the fourth quarter. We chose to take it in the third quarter, and we needed to capitalize on it. And we moved the ball. We just couldn't, we didn't put any points. And then the botch field goal, certainly hurt us from that standpoint. But, we needed to get something going, offensively in that third quarter, because it was a factor, definitely. But I was proud of the way our kids fought in that fourth quarter into it, and to be able to drive it down there. And it was kind of, it was a little sloppy towards the end there. But, I felt like our kids were, they were locked in and they were playing as hard as they could against a very talented football team.
Why hasn't Brandon Murray been involved in the offensive lane?
What's that?
Why hasn't Brandon Murray been involved in the offensive lane?
Oh, he's involved, and we felt Devin was, he was, he had a pretty good game, and we felt good about where Devin is. Brandon twisted his ankle in the UConn game, and he's been kind of, he's been fighting that a little bit. But, he did our kickoff returns, which is a big part of this. So, I felt like, where we were with Devin, he was ready to go, and he obviously performed as well as any true freshman I've coached in the running back position. To have two 100-yard games in the same season is the first time in the history of our program.
What was the deal on the field goal? You said it was a botch?
Yeah, it was a little bit off. It's what Tony told me. Daniel's our holder. He said it was just a little bit off, and by the time he set it on the ground and it was ready to go, but Pat said the timing was way off. So, and at that point, everything's being blocked for a sustained period of time. We weren't able to get our outlets, our wing outlets to get out. And then Tony just threw it, which he should have, which was a heck of an effort by him. But, yeah, we just got to capitalize on those moments. That's stuff you practice every day. And, we get the rain and we get the wind, and, we kick into wind and we kick with the rain. And, I just felt like that moment was could have gave us a little bit more confidence in putting 3 more points on the board in a key and critical time of the game. And it's unfortunate that we weren't able to, produce at that moment.
I mean, Jeff, the margin for error is just that, they had 2 big plays. They had the interception, which set up the short field for them, and they had the screenplay.
Yeah, the big screenplay.
Made a great play.
Oh, tremendous. It just tells you how passionate that young man is. He had a career day with 12 tackles, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle. He came from the backside, I don't know how far, 50 yards, 40 yards. This man and this team wants to win, and they want to get it right. And it just, those are great examples of, the passion and the determination that our kids have, and Khalil is that leader of our team, and we just keep leaning on him like all of our players. But to hold Pitt to 254 yards of total offense is pretty impressive by a defense that is definitely, rose to the occasion. And we got to help our defense out offensively. But it was a great effort by him on that one screen, and he was after them a lot tonight. You could tell when he was tackling, he was arriving there with a relentless attitude and effort, and arriving in there in a bad mood. And that's what I appreciate about Khalil, because he's a great player.
You talk about his versatility. He had an end, an outside linebacker, and all those.
That's just good coaching, in my opinion, and because you got a good player. You don't want him lined up in the same location. We want to move him around and give him the opportunity to match up against different, whether it's the running back or the tight ends or a tackle or a guard. He has that capability, and that's what his team, he's a team guy. There's a lot of guys that say, no, you play me outside and that's where I stay. No, that's not how he is, and that says a lot about Lou and and our relationship with our players, because we ask them to do things, and we did the same thing with Steven. Steven had some key plays in that game too, because we moved him around. So, you know, those guys are bought in, and those guys understand, and they want to get it right. And we tell them all the time, look, you know, it's a team game, and we think your ability could be utilized in a lot of different spots. So, hey, we're going to make those calls to feature your talent. Now go play.
Coach, third down conversions today. You finished 7-19 according to the stat sheet. I know at one point it was about 3 or 4 to 350 now. As you said, you had a bunch of regulars out of the lineup tonight. But is that a function of just the youth in the lineup today, or is that something as you move on, moving forward, something to impress the team? Because in a game like today, you can't finish drives. That's got to be something like killer.
Yeah, and the score reflected that, you know. But we were able to convert on 22 first downs to their 13, you know. So, you know, part of that is the first and second down. Stuff that's going on, and I don't have the breakdown of what the distances were of the third downs, but then it would be a 19 of them, and you know is tough, and you know, but we practice that. You know, this is, you know, we spend a lot of time on third down long. Every coach in the country probably does. You know, you do it in third and short, third and long. You just get those kids to understand this is what we're going to do in those key situations. But you know, there's a team across from us that are competing too, and they're pretty good. You know, and so, you know, I tip my hat off to Pitt. They're a good team. But, you know, I was proud of the way our kids competed tonight. There was a lot of things in here tonight that I saw, just effort-wise, competitive fire and spirit, and wanting to get this thing done and done the right way.
Coach, I mean, you look at guys like Dunmore and Campbell, who weren't expected a month and a half ago to be the big contributors, and they end up being the guys tonight. But is it maybe that they need that bit more confidence to convert third downs, convert second downs, score touchdowns, you know, just take that next step to really blossom?
Well, you know, that game field experience is so valuable, and you hit it right on the head. Those kids haven't been in a lot of games. John Dunmore has been servicing us in, you know, demo squad. He's, you know, a young man that just keeps working and plugging away, and you know, that's what you love about the development of our program, and how important it is to bring those other kids along. You know, our motto is bringing the next guy in, you know, and that's the way we approach it. And because it's a long season, and, you know, it could take its toll on the bodies of these kids. And, you know, to see John step in and perform at the level he did, to know that he was ready, speaks volume of his character and what we expect. And a lot of kids buy into that. They're bought into, you're right, Coach, we understand what the next bull in means. What's the next man in? And John is, you know, he's embraced that role, and he got his chance, and look what he's able to do. Now what we need to do is get some guys healthy and get them all back, so we have a lot of good players we can go to, so we can have a little bit more, you know, comfort in what guys like Nutz and Bo and, you know, Fred Lee and Boomer Brock and, you know, James Potts. Those guys are all quality players that, you know, somebody else can have to step in and pick up the slack. And that's what I love about Devin Campbell and John Dunmore and our philosophy here.
Okay, thank you.